The Vanquish name returns to the Aston Martin lineup, and it does so properly with the appropriate amount of cylinders under the hood, true top-tier grand touring style, and Aston's latest and greatest chassis tech. It's a limited-run super tourer with big power, a bold look, and what should prove to be brilliant performance. This is the 2025 Aston Martin Vanquish. The tale of the Vanquish dates back to a concept car from 1998 called Project Vanquish. It was designed by Ian Callum and created to showcase the 12-cylinder filled future plans for the brand. Fast forward to the 2001 Geneva Motor Show and the production-ready first-generation Vanquish arrives on the scene. More than 2,500 first-gen examples were built, with power starting out in the neighborhood of 460, then rising to 520 horsepower with the Vanquish S. The first generation went away in 2007, followed by a 5-year hiatus before the name came back for a new version of the car in 2012. That was a more sleek machine with more enticing horsepower. It launched with 565 from the 5.9-liter V12 before once again bowing out with the 595 horsepower Vanquish S in 2018. Time marched on, and once again the Vanquish name returns. Under the hood is still a 12-cylinder engine, but now it's working with a pair of turbochargers. The 5.2-liter mill is rated to deliver north of 820 horsepower. It makes 738 pound-feet of torque. In fact, this latest V12 produces the highest specific output for an Aston at 158 horsepower per liter. And while I can understand the pining for naturally aspirated greatness, Aston Martin has some trickery going on with its turbos. The system utilizes what's referred to as boost reserve. This holds turbo boost pressure at the ready, so when you mat the throttle, the turbos respond immediately as well. Aston pairs the engine with a ZF 8-speed gearbox. There's an electronic rear limited slip differential, which can go from fully open to fully locked in 135 milliseconds. Aston Martin is quoting a 0 to 60 mile per hour time of just 3.2 seconds and a top speed of 214 miles per hour. It's probably a good thing then that the front brakes are made up of 16.1-inch carbon ceramic discs with 6 piston calipers, while the rear gets 14.2-inch rotors with a 4-piston setup. Those are set behind the 21-inch forged alloy wheels wearing Pirelli P0 tires. Since this is a proper GT car, it needs to be fast but also comfortable. Aston fits it with Bilstein adaptive dampers, which were first bolted onto the DB12. The tuning on these delivers a clearly defined difference between the various driving modes. It's not as focused on track as a Vanquish, but it does feature systems like Corner Braking 2.0, which essentially delivers smooth trail braking efforts when you enter more technical corners. Couple that with the various stability control modes, and you can have the car set up exactly how you want it for a given situation. Are you actually on track pushing the Vanquish in an aggressive manner, or are you in the middle of a road trip where the weather has turned against you? Tell the car what you're doing, and it will keep the action as wild or composed as you demand it to be. Style-wise, this thing stands out. Part of that is because of that rear end. Aston Martin designers are leaning into that camtail style, and they've been doing so with a few of their ultra-exclusive models as of late, and I'm here for it. It looks awesome on the Valor, the Valiant, and the truly amazing Victor. Here too on the Vanquish, I think it's an awesome styling link filtering through the lineup. Up on the roof, that glass top is standard. Aston says it's tinted to allow 6% light transmission while also coated to protect against UVA and B rays. I think it looks pretty awesome, but I'd also love to see an option for a standard roof. Staying in the cabin, this 2-seater gets the latest updated displays being used elsewhere in the lineup. That means a digital 10.25-inch TFT display ahead of the driver and a 10.25-inch center touchscreen. There are still physical buttons, dials, and rollers for stuff like gear selection, drive modes, and climate controls, which is always preferable. Those comfortable-looking Sports Plus seats are standard kit, but you can spec the Vanquish with carbon fiber performance seats. Those might clash with the optional available luggage set, but that's a sacrifice you may have to make. Or just sit down with the Q by Aston Martin people and make the spec of your dreams come true. It won't be cheap, but it could be awesome. Speaking of cost, Aston Martin has not said the starting price on the Vanquish, but you can order one now and they should start arriving by Q4 of this year. Aston plans to build just 1,000 per year. Since this is a top-spec grand touring beast of a car, it's safe to assume it will carry a starting price tag somewhere up around the $300,000 mark.